One winter's evening, Ross was headed back home to the steelworks. He had had a long day. He had to take empty hoppers to Allison so she could take them to the limestone quarry in the morning. It began to snow, but Ross didn't mind. He quite liked it. But as he made his way along the main line, he heard what sounded like a growling noise. "What's that?" "What's what?" asked his driver. That growling noise. I've never heard a noise like it before." Ross rounded a curve and then looked straight down the main line. He saw something strange and unfamiliar. To Ross, it looked like it had arms made of snow, and it only had one eye. Then Ross heard what sounded like a loud shriek. "I'm getting out of here," he shouted, and reversed back quickly as fast as he could. Ross didn't stop until he reached South Plainsville sheds. "You need to slow down, Ross," said Ian. "You should know better than to race around in this kind of weather, especially at night." Taylor noticed that Ross was visibly shaken. "What's the matter, Ross?" asked Taylor. I saw something." "Well, what'd you see out there?" Larry wanted to know. I saw a snow monster." "A snow monster?" Larry pondered. "What did it look like?" "It had 2 arms made of snow, 1 scary eye, and an ear-piercing shriek." "Ross," said Julie, "I think what you saw was just an illusion." Ross's fear quickly turned to anger. "Are you saying I'm crazy, Julie?" "I'm not saying you're crazy," explained Julie. "Well, that's what it sounds like," snapped Ross. "And I'm not going to stand here and let you insult my intelligence. I know what I saw, and that's that." And he puffed away to go sleep in the coach yards. The next morning, Julie tried to talk to Ross, but the Camelback locomotive wasn't trying to hear it. Chrissy backed into the station alongside her. "I know Ross really well," said Chrissy. "What he saw last night really frightened him. He's upset now. They'll come around soon." "I hope so," said Julie sadly. "I wasn't trying to insult him at all." Julie was too busy that day to worry about Ross. She was busy working in helper service on Piscataway Hill. Soon, Julia helped the last freight train over the hill. But she couldn't go home yet. Mr. Egan wanted her to go to Oskalon to pick up a flanger and bring her back to South Plainsville. As she made her way toward the station, it got dark and it began to snow again. Julie then heard a growling noise. "It's probably some kind of animal," she said to herself. But what animal? Julie decided she would just ignore it, but as she rounded a bend, she saw something she couldn't ignore. Something was headed for her. It had, arms made out of snow and 1 scary eye. Julie stopped in her tracks until she heard "That's not an illusion," she shivered. "That's real," and raced backwards before her driver could react. The tower operator thought Julie was in trouble and set the switches for a sighting. Julie then crashed through the barrier into a snowbank. The strange thing got closer and closer. Julie was frightened and shut her eyes. Then everything stopped and a voice said, "Julie, are you all right?" Julie opened her eyes to see Amber, the maintenance diesel, and she appeared to be pushing a strange-looking caboose. "Oh, Amber," sighed Julie with relief. "It's only you. But what are you pushing?" I'm Monty, the caboose said. I used to work on a railroad not too far from here which closed. Oh, I'm sorry, said Julie sympathetically. That's all right, Monty replied. One of the railroad workers didn't want to see me scrap, so he purchased me. I sat on his property for a while until he got the idea to convert me into a snowblower. So his brother-in-law made it at his machine shop in his spare time. When it was nearly completed and fitted, your manager, Mr. Egan, happened to be in the area and saw it. He liked the concept, and he agreed to give me a trial because he's thinking about buying me. I've been out here with him for 2 nights, explained Amber, just testing him out. Well, when Amber said that, everything made sense. He needs to call somebody for you, Amber asked. Yes, said Julie, but I want someone particular to come help. Well, when Ross found out that Julie was the one that needed rescuing, he initially refused to move until Chrissy convinced him to be the bigger engine. All right, Julie, he grumbled, let's get this over with. And he then noticed Amber and Monty. Who's this? He asked. I am Monty, the caboose turned snowplow. I'm doing trials on your railroad, you see. This is what you really saw last night, Julie explained to Ross. When Ross heard that, he felt very silly. I'm sorry I was rude, Julie, apologized Ross. You were right. It was just an illusion. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Julie replied. Once Julie was back on the rails, all 4 headed for home, with Monty and Amber leading the way. After that night, nobody brought up the subject of snow monsters ever again.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy